Hello everyone, Minute Plus Meditation here, the 17th Sunday in Ordinary Time, July the 30th. Can you believe it? We are there is one more day in July and then we're into August. Whoa. So just sort of give July a hug, make it last a little bit longer. All right, first reading is from 1 Kings. So this is the famous episode of God appearing to Solomon in a dream and says, ask me whatever you want. I mean, what the ultimate question all of us desire, right? I'll give you whatever you want, Solomon. So Solomon's heart here is being tested. And now Solomon gives the best answer he could have given. And that is, give me a wise and give me an understanding heart so that I may basically be able to lead your people. And God basically, it pleased the Lord that Solomon had asked for this, and he said, because you have not asked for the death of your enemies, long life, riches, I give you wisdom, and I give you what you didn't ask for. So I give you an understanding. I now do according to your word. Indeed, I give you a wise and discerning mind. So he gives him the gift of wisdom. And in effect, God is saying you'll always have wisdom, Solomon, as long as you be faithful to the gift of wisdom. Tragedy at the end of his life is he wasn't faithful to the gift of wisdom. He sold his body to women, too many concubines, and so on. He amassed all sorts of things the kings of Israel were not supposed to do. But here he shows us exactly what you and I should be praying for, and that's the gift of wisdom. It's a grace of the Holy Spirit. It's the first of the gifts of the Holy Spirit, the 7 gifts of the Holy Spirit. And it basically helps us to understand, it's like first things first and second things. It helps us to understand what's most important in life. And if we get that and we make that the most important thing, that is God, then all the other things will be added unto you. And that's exactly what Jesus said. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness, and all these other things will be added unto you. Why? It's not where we're going to have sexual pleasures and all this kind of stuff inordinately, but if we get worship and love of God right, we will use pleasures according to God's will. We'll use our mental faculties according to God's will. We'll use our ability to make money according to God's will. We'll use our time according to to the true fulfillment of us and the people around us. We will avoid the traps of narcissism and egocentrism and all this kind of thing. But we've got to get the first thing first. If we don't get the first thing first, we're just on a downward spiral. Everything may be fine on the outside, but in the inside, everything is not going so well. So it's so important that we and I pray for the gift of wisdom. St. James tells us to pray for the gift of wisdom, and that we keep praying for it and act in accordance with the gift of wisdom given to us. We make right decisions, first things first. For a Catholic, it's not the only thing, but do I go to Mass on Sunday or do I replace it with something else? Do I make excuses or do I just go and go for it because it's a privilege, it's an honor, because I love God, because I owe him everything? Okay, second reading, we from Romans 8. We know that all things work together for good for those who love God, who are called according to his purpose. So statement is omnium in bonum is the dense Latin verse. All things work for the good of those who love him. And it's true, even though things may not go well in this world, and we know they don't. They don't go well for me all the time. They don't go well for you. They don't go well for people you love and know. A lot of people suffer in life, but ultimately, all things will work together for the good for those who love God. We may not see it in this world. I mean, remember, Joan of Arc was burned at the stake. So it's like the saints were not oblivious or stupid about this stuff. Many of the martyrs, they were, thrown to the lions, wild animals. Many of the women saints, they were raped by the Roman legionaries. So they were not oblivious to this stuff. It wasn't always going to be a rose garden in this world. But if for those who love God, it will ultimately work for the good. Again, there's so much that could be said about this. I just got to strike to the heart of this message, important message that St. Paul preaches to us. Over to the Gospel, Matthew chapter 13, the three parables, and I'm just going to highlight 2. The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field which someone found and hid. Then he goes and sells everything he has and buys a field. Another is a merchant in search of fine pearls, finding one pearl of great value, he went and sold all that he had and bought it. So, and then there's another example about the dragnet, the big catch of fish. So that what's common here is I'm going to be speaking in my homily this Sunday is what's common between these two is number one finds it by accident, one by intentionality, but they sell, once they find the pearl of great price, they sell everything they have in order to acquire this and keep it for themselves. And that is an image. I mean, it could be many things. We could describe it as many things, but in line with the first reading, it's the gift of wisdom, because wisdom is the gift that enables us to keep first and second things in order. And if we have that, then we will have our relationship with Christ. We'll have all the things, again, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness, and all these other things will be added unto you. But we've got to give God his due. We have to put God first and foremost in our life and not abandon him when things are going to get crappy sometimes in our life. That we won't understand lots of things. We'll be hurting, we'll be suffering, we'll be tempted severely at times to abandon God. Keep ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all these other things will be added unto you. So try to remember this and pray for the gift of wisdom. God bless you.